All right, we off to the races, man. Hey,
Yeah,
so so Dave, man, good to see you, man.
yeah,
Good
good to see
to
you
sit
too.
down. And I know scheduling was a motherfucker, you know. So shout out to Ben for getting this situated.
And
Ben, you're the man. So Dave, talk to me, man. SevenTrain. That's the band. You guys, that's the band of the hour. Talk to me how it all came about, man. You guys have a very vintage sound, very old school, but very new school production. I like it. Talk to me. What's going on?
so you want to hear like how Seven Train got started, or
Yeah,
you want to hear?
we could go there if you want. We could go as far as you want to go, brother.
So I'm still, I consider myself still one of the new guys in Seven Train because I joined the band I think back in 20, I think it was 2018, like right
Okay.
around the tail end of 2018, and they had already put the uh, no, actually they didn't put it out. They just finished recording the Back on Track album,
Hmm.
and that album came out in 2019, and I had just joined the band. Their other guitar player, Jeff Paremba, had left, and that's when I joined the band. And then COVID hit
Mm.
like a year after that, and with the lockdown. So the whole promotion of that album, trying to do shows for that album, I think we did like maybe three three or four shows playing the material off of that
Okay.
album. And then COVID happened, and that was that. And then we had some member changes that went on during that time, and so we regrouped, got the members back together, and then we decided to, you know what, let's just utilize this downtime to work on another album.
Oh,
And
nice.
so, and that was the first time where I came in writing with the guys. This is specifically with with the two Erics, Eric Horton and Eric Coons.
Okay. Okay.
And so we just basically, locked ourselves up into our little lockout studio. And I think we wrote most of the material in probably 3 to 5 weeks,
Oh,
something like
wow.
that. Yeah.
Damn,
And
you
then,
guys were steamrolling.
yeah. It was like, let's get together this night. We get together and just jam, hash out some ideas. And by the end of the evening, we had a song musically completed.
Mhm.
And it got to the point where we had like 9 to 10 songs, and we just tossed all that to Eric Coons, our singer. And I think he wrote majority of that stuff. I would say 90% of it in like matter of a month.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And so we started tracking, gosh, was it last year? 2022. We started tracking in 2022.
Mhm.
And yeah, so what we did was we tracked in 2022 all the drums, majority of the bass, a lot of the guitar tracks,
Mhm. Mhm.
scratch vocals, and then we decided, okay, you know what, let's put out an EP instead of taking a long time for to come out with the finished product. We're like, let's get an EP out. So we picked the 4 songs that we're gonna get out, and so we polished that up and got that out. I think it came out February this year. And
Mhm.
right now, we're finishing up the rest of the other 6 songs and hoping to have that out by September, October.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
but
Okay.
in the meantime, what we're probably going to do is release a song as we get it done. So rather than waiting for, September and October and for all the songs to be done, I think as we get the songs done, we're probably going to just release it, stream it, maybe do some lyric videos or some kind
Nice.
of video. Just trickle it out there as we get it done. And then once we're completely done with the entire recordings, then we'll compile it and then make it an official album.
Oh, nice, 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 nice. So
Yeah.
you
So
guys,
that's
you guys could pump things out pretty quickly, from what I'm seeing. That you guys put
um
together stuff pretty fast.
Yeah, yes and no, because it seems like this is just taking forever.
Uh-huh.
Because
Mhm.
we decided to take on the whole recording process ourselves
Mm.
for budget reasons.
Okay.
So there was a bit of a learning curve involved with the technology, the gear, and just trying to get all that sorted out took months.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I don't know, it just seemed like it was just dragging and dragging.
Mm, okay,
So
okay.
come to think of it, I think we started to play around with the possibility of doing this ourselves back in 2021,
Mm,
2021. Yeah.
okay, okay.
And
So a
then
little
in
bit after the
2020,
pandemic.
yeah. And then in
Okay, yeah.
2022, we like started really tracking everything, like, just trying to knock it all out.
No,
So,
no.
but yeah, I mean, it seems like it might be fast, but it just seems like it's kind of slow.
Oh,
The
yeah.
next time around, I think it'll go quicker because we got everything nailed down, so we know what
Mm,
we're doing now.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. So I mean, and so you guys come together as a band and you guys jam it, right?
yeah,
And then you
yeah.
guys are like, okay, you know what? Let's send it off to the singer and go from there. Because I know a lot of bands again are different, right? Like they'll be like, hey, I got a riff, or the singer will have an idea, and you guys are kind of like, no, 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 we're gonna jam, right? This is
Well,
what I'm hearing.
so it's 50% that we'll get together and I might have a riff kicking around like that song Roller Coaster
Yeah.
that we talked about earlier. That actual riff, that opening riff, was a
Mhm.
riff I just had, and
Oh, okay.
we were working on some other song, and towards the end of the night, guys were like, Anybody got anything?" I was like, "Well, I got this riff that I was just kind of kicking around for the past
Yeah.
couple of days." So I played it to them. All right, let's do it, and
Yeah.
then jump right in and we do it. The way we work is somebody's got an idea, we'll toss it out there, we'll
Mhm.
play it and see if they like it. And everybody's really straight up and honest. You present an
Mm,
idea, if nobody likes it, I'll be like, it's kind of run of the mill, you know.
mhm, mhm.
So we'll just toss it, trash it, no big deal.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
hurt
yeah.
feelings or none of that stuff, right? So,
That's
uh,
always good. That's always good.
but yeah, so
Okay.
once we get to the point where everybody digs the idea, then we just start to jam on that idea. And then all of a sudden, somebody else, Greg, the bass player, might have an idea for a B section or a chorus, or, and then everybody else will just start throwing in ideas. And then, 2, 3 hours later, we pretty much got the whole form of the music done.
Oh, nice, 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 nice. Yeah,
So
yeah.
we write pretty well together, which is really refreshing because a lot of us like to just bounce ideas off of each other.
Mhm.
I don't mind writing at home and stuff, but in a band situation, I'd prefer bouncing the ideas off of everybody.
It's a little bit better, right? There's more chemistry, the
Oh,
energy
yeah.
is there, right? And you guys can communicate right on the spot,
Mm,
which is always great, right? And I think
exactly.
the best bands come together and do that. But you
Oh
said
yeah.
something along the lines like there's no egos here, and I love that, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Because that's how you know the music is good, right?
Yep.
Not the guitar player is just playing like 15,000 solos and stuff,
Yeah. Exactly.
you guys are writing songs,
Yep.
so I really enjoy that about you guys. But other than that, I mean, what are some of the things that you guys like want to incorporate more? Because I mean, you guys kind of have a solid sound, but what are the things you guys want to do in the next one, or anything that you would guys want to do in the future?
Song wise, like
Yeah,
material wise, you talking
yeah,
about?
material wise, yeah.
So, well, the rest of the songs we have coming up on the album is going to be, I would say maybe 2 or 3 songs are a little different than what's on the EP,
Hmm.
kind of branches out. Uh, I wouldn't exactly call it metal. Some of the stuff branches into there's this one particular song where there's this guitar solo, but the whole section is kind of like a fusion. I hate to use the word jazz, but it's got some of those elements in there. It's like snuck in there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anybody who knows that kind of music would be like, "Oh, okay, I could see some of the influence where that's going," but it
Hmm.
still has our stamp on it.
Hmm.
And so there's just about 2, 3 songs on there. That's a lot different than what's on the EP. So,
Okay,
and far as going forward, I don't know. We're not there yet. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
we're just still stuck in this cycle of the album.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and
Okay.
once it's done, you know, I'm sure, you know, we'll go out and do a bunch of shows, and then things will start to evolve, and then, you know, each one of us are going to change as musicians, and we'll start bringing in some new fresh ideas and just kind of go from there and see what happens.
I like it, man. I like it. I like it. And you guys are coming from San Diego. You guys are from San Diego,
Yeah,
from what I was reading about you guys. And how is the scene there? How do you guys fit in San Diego? Because we're a
yeah,
little ways away from LA, right? Different
yeah.
scene, different, talk to us about that.
So the San Diego scene, the original music scene, really isn't much of it. It's
Mm.
kind of non-existent. The tribute acts, cover band, there's a lot of great places to play.
Mhm.
You know, there's occasionally the House of Blues. There's a really nice venue called the Music Box, which
Okay.
is kind of like, you know, I would say it's a smaller venue than House of Blues, but it's really nice. It's got 3 floors, huge stage,
Oh,
huge
nice.
top, and there's venues like that. And then you got the smaller venues, you know, the small little clubs. So there's quite a few venues to play at. But when it comes to original music, I don't, you know, there's really not much of a big scene there. So
Mm.
because of that, what we've done is Seven Train. You might know this if you've seen our website. We've done quite a few shows under the name of Headbangers Brawl.
Mm.
So
I
what
did. I
that
did.
is based,
I did read something about that. I was gonna get to
yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
well, since we're talking about you
Yeah.
know the whole scene down there, we decided to do the Headbangers Brawl thing
Mhm.
because you know we grew up during that era of music, so we decided to do that. And we're thinking, okay, let's play in these venues and let's sneak in our Seven Train songs. So we'll
Mm.
do these Headbanger Brawl songs, and then we'll throw in like maybe 4 or 5 Seven Train material.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we were able to do that last year when we just wrote songs like Roller Coaster, Save My Soul, and we were able to kind of gauge how people were digging it.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it was kind of cool to do that. So,
Mm.
you know, for us, we do the Headbangers Brawl because one, it's fun. Two, it enables Seven Train to get out there in some of these tribute act, you know, nights and just kind of do our thing for a few songs here and there. And ultimately, you know, I think people start to realize Headbangers Brawl equals Seven Train equals Headbangers Brawl, and
Ah.
start to develop a fan base that way.
Yeah. 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 So it's like a almost like a multi-personality type of band, right? Like, hey, we do this, but check this out.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of like I like how you said it too. You're like we're under the radar with it.
yeah, oh, yeah.
You
We'll
know,
we'll just sneak it in there, and
yeah, 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 and that's kind of cool because then fans are like, oh, this is an original song. Oh, you guys write stuff too. Awesome, right?
yeah,
Because you're saying the market is so saturated with cover bands,
yeah.
where your guys are at. It's like, well, we got to adapt to survive, right?
That's exactly it. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. What's up, everybody? Want to jump in really quick to tell you about one of my favorite brands and my brothers over at Heavy Defender Merch. Heavy Defender Merch products are a must-have for any heavy metal fan. Their banners, pins, and apparel is made from high-quality materials that feature bold, eye-catching designs that are truly to capture the essence of the metal lifestyle. The shirts are comfortable and durable as hell, man. The hoodies are perfect for when you're leaving the whiskey and it's fucking 2 o'clock in the morning, it's cold as shit. Heavy Defenders offers a great selection of products for any metalhead looking to represent their passion in freaking style. With unique designs and quality material, hey, check out HDM. Well, I want to ask, and I ask every band that I find an interesting band name, how did we come up with the band name Seven Train? Where did
Okay, so that
this has to
question,
be a good one.
so That would be a question you would have to ask Eric Horton, the other guitar
Oh,
player.
the other guitar.
But
Okay.
but
Okay.
but I've heard the story, and if I'll try to get the story right.
Mhm.
So I think this was back in 2009, maybe 2010, or it could be 2011. Right around there, he was in a band called SevenTrain. He had joined a band
Mm.
called SevenTrain in San Diego. And somewhere along the lines, the band just flat out quit and
Oh,
everybody
wow.
went their separate ways. And he did some sort of benefit concert, got a group of friends together. This is way before me. So
Okay.
got
Okay.
got a group of friends together to do this concert. And the concert did well, and everybody was having a good time doing it. And then I think Eric had some original songs kicking around
Mhm.
and decided to put a band together using the guys that he had from the benefit concert, and
Oh.
needed to come up with a name. And he's not one to really sit and toss name ideas around and shit. So he was like, you know what? Uh, let's just use Seven Train since it's available. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, 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 yeah.
so
Okay. Okay.
that was it. It was as simple as that.
Yeah, yeah. Just coming up just on the spot, like, hey, this is what it is. Screw it, we'll go
Yeah,
with it. Ah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And I always think like band names are always a good like window to the band's like, story, right? It's a
Yeah,
good opener, right? To like, oh, what is the band about? And then we kind of, you know, trickle down from there, you know what I mean? So I think that's cool. Like, hey, you're like, hey, screw it, let's just use it and let's move on.
yeah.
We'll use that.
Well, well, the original Seven Train from the first album is the music's a lot different than what it is today. Because
Mm.
that first album, I really like it. I mean, it's got the vibe of Badlands, with
Mm.
Jakey Lee and Ray Gillen.
Oh
It's got
wow.
that whole vibe to it. So when I had auditioned for the band, I had to learn a few materials off of that. And I was like, yeah, this band's freaking awesome. I'm going to join this band. I was like dead set on it that I was going to. But that version of the band was pretty good too. It was a different singer. It was with singer John Campos, who we
Mm.
we still, oddly enough, we still work with him. I still play in his band.
Ah, nice, nice, nice.
Yeah, so we
Yeah,
still all stay in touch and work with each other.
yeah.
But yeah, that was the first version of Seven Train, and then the second album in came Eric Coombs, the singer.
Mm. Mm,
So
okay, okay. And I gotta ask from a guitar player standpoint,
mhm.
how do you feel working with another guitar player, right? Because I think, as me as a bass player, I'm like, okay, I gotta complement the guitars, I gotta compliment the drums, right? But as a guitar player, how do you find your guys' dynamic, right? I think that's a very good question to ask because other guitar players will be like, oh, well, he does leads, I'll do rhythm, or I'll do this and I'll do that, How do you guys feel like you guys complement each other?
So for me in the past, I've always played in bands or did my solo stuff, as a one guitar player guy.
Mm, mhm.
And I kind of got tired of that. I wanted to branch out and have the ability to just lay back and just play rhythm and let somebody else, take the reins on
Mhm.
that. And so it worked out great, finding Eric Horton. And we just naturally gelled because our influences are somewhat similar. We come from the old school, the 80s guys, the George Lynch's, the
Uh,
Gary Moore, the Warren DeMartinis, the Zach Wild. Those are
mhm.
like our influences. And I tend to branch off a little bit more on the technical side, like the Steve Vai, Joe
Ah,
Satriani stuff.
okay, okay.
But Eric's really rooted with, like Dave Murray or Steve Smith or Maiden. So,
Mhm.
you
Okay.
know, the way he plays and way I play is different, but I think there's a thread of similarity there that makes both of us work.
Mhm.
So when we write or like our guitar tones or when he takes a solo and I take the other half of the solo, it just kind of, it flows, you know, it's
Ah,
not like he takes first half of the solo and then when I come in, it's like completely off the wall. It's not
mm,
like that. We just gel. You know, it just works.
yeah, yeah, and I think that's so great because as you said, you guys have the similar influences, right? That kind of come together, right?
Yeah.
And then you could hear it in the music, right?
Yeah.
You could hear the tones, you could hear the chemistry because I always like looking at two guitar players and like, okay, what is he playing? What is he playing? Right? To distinguish the two because you guys have to have your own identities, right?
Yep.
Your own tone, right? So I think that's well said. I think it's with how it works for you guys, this common thread, but we're different.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But we allow each other to be ourselves. And occasionally he might reel me back in if I'm doing something that just doesn't quite fit the song.
Hmm.
Because the bottom line, when we write and when we record, during the recording process, we might have new ideas like filler parts or parts to, paint a different color in the second verse or in the chorus or something. And I might come up with an idea or he might come up with an idea. And a lot of times it might not work, and we're very honest with each other about that without having our feelings hurt, because the bottom line is it's we're doing it for the good of the song,
Hmm.
not for the good of us as a guitar player. It's the song first, and then even when it came to the guitar solos, it's like we would he would track at his place, I would track at my place,
Hmm.
and he would send his ideas over to me, like, what do you think? And I'd be like, oh yeah, that's cool, or maybe try this or that. And same thing, I would record something, I would send it to him, he would be like, that part's good, but that second half you could do better. And
Mm,
then that's how we just kind of came up with the solos.
mm, okay.
Because I know a lot of guys, that's my solo, I wrote it, that's how it's supposed to be. It's like, but also the solo has to fit the context of the song as
Of
well.
course, of course.
So
Absolutely.
that's where we're good at kind of reeling in each other and making sure it fits the overall picture. You know,
Exactly, exactly. And again, I have to compliment you guys because you could hear it in the music.
no, thanks.
You guys aren't all over the place. You're like, hey, no, no, no. This is the track. This is what we're doing. Yeah, there's a solo here, but hey, check it out. This is how it's fitting, right? The rhythm
Yeah,
section's locked in. You guys complimenting each other, right? It's not a
yeah,
Hanger 18 situation. It's not a Megadeth situation. This is what we do, and I love that. You guys put a real good stamp of approval on that. So
yeah, thank you.
kudos to you guys, man.
Glad to hear
Really.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, talk to me again, kind of again, band influences though, right? Because from what I'm looking, is we got in like I said right before I hit record, a little bit of an old school sound, man, and I love that, man. We need more of the old school motherfuckers coming back.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. Talk to me. Talk to me.
yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, each individual has got so many influences. I mean, like for myself, I gosh, I started out with, Kiss, Queen, AC/DC, Van Halen, Scorpions, and then came the Rat and Dawkins, and
Hmm.
and then even all them other bands, the kind of like the watered down 80s version. I was into some of those songs, I'm not going to say the names, but yeah, there was a few songs I was like, yeah, those are cool too.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
When I went to music school, I got into heavily into jazz and fusion, all sorts
Mm.
of other types of, stuff, Latin jazz music as well.
Oh
And
wow.
so I was throughout my 20s, I kind of got away from my roots for a
Mm.
good decade. I was doing mostly like pop and fusion stuff, prog music. I was doing that type of stuff. And then
Oh, okay.
it wasn't really until my late 40s I was going back to my roots of hard rock and metal.
Mm, okay.
My
Okay.
30s was just instrumental music, doing stuff like Vi Satriani, Jeff Beck type stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I just got tired of it and
Yeah.
just went to my roots where I
Yeah.
really felt at home. And
Yeah.
like joining Seven Train kind of felt like going home. Like I felt like, okay, this is where I belong right now.
Ah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
You're like,
the
no,
other,
this is it right here.
yeah, but
Ah.
the other guy's influence, like Eric Horton, his influences, Maiden, Priest, um, gosh, who else? Like all the '80s stuff too, like the
Hmm.
White Snake.
The Europes, the Scorpions, right?
I don't know. I don't know if he was into Europe. I know
Okay.
Scorpions. No, he was into Poison. No, I'm
Is the
kidding.
point? Oh
No,
man,
I'm
put him
kidding.
on
I'm
blast.
kidding. No,
Yeah.
I actually
Yeah.
like Poison though.
Yeah.
The-
It's all
Those
good,
guys
man. You know,
came.
yeah, no, it is funny because you mentioned Kiss, right? And
Yeah.
I love Kiss. And not that many people know that about me. Like people know, like, hey, Matt is all about Sabbath, Megadeth, and Pantera. Those are his three men. But I love Kiss, like, you know, because I don't know what's happened this day and age, but they've gotten such a bad rep. And I'm like, dude, they're kind of like the classics, man. They're probably one of the ones that, aside from Priest, that were like, hey, let's bridge the heaviness to what it is, man. Making rock songs, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I could listen to like Love Gun and
Oh yeah.
Calling Doctor. I listened to. There was
Dr.
one day I
Love.
listened
Yeah.
to Calling Doctor Love for like the whole day,
Yeah.
just the whole day, and I still want to cover it, but but I'm glad that you mentioned Kiss, man. That's not that many people talk
Yeah.
about them anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was 6 or 7 when I got into them,
Oh
and
wow.
I was. I remember me and my friends, we get the small little portable plastic record players,
Hmm.
and we put that on the front porch, put on what it was. The first Kiss record I bought was Kiss Alive 2, and my friend had Kiss Alive. And
Hmm.
we just spend the afternoon just playing that stuff, grabbing a broom and grabbing chopsticks, and just, we'd be like, all right, today you're Peter Chris. Right now you're going to be Ace Frehley,
Yeah,
and me,
yeah.
and then we just act that shit out on the
That
front porch, like 6, 7-year-old kids just having a blast.
that's awesome, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And then getting the face paint and then putting it
Oh,
on, and
yeah, that was
yeah,
Halloween.
that was
Halloween.
Halloween.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I remember putting in because I was a bass player and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be Gene Simmons, and
Yeah.
then like my mom's like, what are you doing? What the hell?
Yeah,
Like
I
you're like, you
remember
don't get
one
it.
year I tried to do Ace Frehley. I couldn't get it right, and I didn't have
Hmm.
the right color. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna be Paul Stanley. So I just did Black
the,
Star, and
the Black Star. Yeah, it's just easier. Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
easy, quick and
Hmm.
easy.
Yeah, yeah. What did you ever see Detroit Rock City? The movie?
No.
Oh, you gotta watch it, man. It's not that not that many people talk about it. I think it's got like a 14 on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's for Kiss fans. It's not The Godfather. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not this theatrical like masterpiece or anything like that. It's for Kiss fans, it's for that,
Yeah.
for those people. And wherever you get a chance, if wherever it's on, look for it, man. It really warms your heart, like watching it. Like I want to watch it again now.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I mean, a few nights ago, I was watching YouTube,
Mm.
and somebody recently posted a really high quality video and audio of the I think it was 76 concert. I don't remember what city it was, but it was great quality. I was like, holy shit. So I ended up watching about 30 minutes of it. I got to finish the other 30 minutes.
Oh damn.
But it was the old school stuff.
Oh damn, damn.
Man, they were young and they were kicking ass.
Oh yeah, dude. They the production. No, nobody beats them, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I could probably nowadays maybe Metallica, Iron Maiden are probably
Yep.
up there. The top, of course, right? The top guys, right? The top dogs. But
Hmm.
Kiss was the one that did it all first, man. Kiss is the one.
Yep. They
Yeah,
paved the way.
they paved the way for us to kind of just dress up
Yeah.
if we want to.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So and it's funny because I now that tying it back to SevenTrain, we hear that influence, right? That classic part of it, right? The
Yeah.
songwriting, because I think Kiss has great songs. You guys have great songs, right? So I mean, in addition to that, how is the reception with everybody? How are people receiving you guys? Talk to me about that.
So a lot of the original stuff, yeah, it's been going over well. The songs like Roller Coaster, we always play that one live.
Nice, nice.
That one seems to be, I think, a lot of people's favorite. That one and Save My Soul.
Oh, okay,
One
okay,
gets really well received because
okay.
that's got the really fast up tempo dual and guitar solo, double bass in there. So it's a really good, head banging, ass kicking tune.
It is,
And
it is.
what I've noticed, like with Roller Coaster, it's the chicks really dig it. You know,
Yeah,
it's got
yeah.
a bit of a danceable kind of vibe to it.
Maybe that's why I liked it. Maybe that's why, because I was like this. I was like, oh yeah, yeah. Like, all right, all right, all right. I see you guys.
Your hip starts to shake, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Well,
yeah,
sometimes, hey, where the chicks go, the guys are gonna follow, man. So
right. Exactly.
yeah,
Yep,
so we're pretty getting a good reception with you guys, which is great, which is awesome. I'm glad
yep.
people are still gravitating to it, right? So kind of coming to it and listening to the classic stuff, right? That we could still make classic stuff, but still make it sound great now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you guys are waving the flag, man. And kudos to you
You.
guys, man, for sure. But
Thanks, man.
it wouldn't be a music podcast if we didn't talk about your gear and that wall of this 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 wall of guitars that we see, man. I mean, this is for the gearheads. This is a segment for the gearheads. Talk to me about gear, man. What are we playing? What are we grooving on?
Well, we're me and Eric, we're old school, so we still play through actual real tube amplifiers.
Mm,
We don't do any of that the modeling gear for, live gigs.
hmm
Um, I don't know. I'll show you. That's my amp rack over there. I got a I got an old carving down there, the
hmm
X100B that
Okay.
Frank Zappa, Steve Vai used to play. Not theirs, but that's what they used to
The
do.
model, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, and then I got a Marshall Plexi right down there.
Okay.
And then I got a Splon, which is
Splunk.
it's a hot rodded Marshall. It's
Oh,
it's a beast of an amp. I mean,
really?
it's one of those amps that's it's really unforgiving. If
Is it
if
is
you
it
if you
more gain? Is it just more gain, or what do we?
it can be like it's got three channels,
Okay.
well three gears, and the third gear gets really really high gain.
Oh,
And I never really used a third gear. I play on the second gear,
okay.
and that's like more than enough gain. I don't
Yeah.
like too much gain because I feel everything thins out and you
Yeah.
don't cut through the mix.
Yeah. Too
So,
crunchy. It gets too crunchy.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
one of those amps. If you're having a shitty night playing, everybody's gonna know because it's one of those amps that you really kind of have to fight. It's kind of like a Marshall
Ooh.
Plexi too. It's old
Yeah. Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
It's those amps that if you got flaws, it's gonna come through. It's
Ah.
those amps that are, it's a tug of war. It's a push and pull.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun that way. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah. It's a
as
beast.
guitar players, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like riding a horse, and just getting out there. You're trying to tame the beast. It's the
Yeah.
same thing with an amp. When you crank that sucker up and you got to control that thing, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Damn.
So,
Okay.
and then,
I've never heard about that one. Something new.
yeah,
Something new.
Swan amplifications, check it out. And then above that is the Angle Artist Edition.
Okay. Okay.
And that one's that's probably the one that I use the most in SevenTrain and Headbangers Brawl.
Oh,
It's
okay.
yeah, that's a really good amp.
Damn, you got
It's
the.
it's it's very much like a Marshall,
Hmm.
like a hot rodded Marshall.
Well, I mean, Angle's been coming up, man. They've been solid.
Yeah,
They've been
yeah.
solid. A lot of,
Angle's
lot of,
great amp.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
great
solid, man.
company.
Yeah, they're solid. But
That's
I'm
good.
looking at that Marshall, man. Is it a greenback? No, they didn't have a version of greenbacks of that one.
You wait, you're talking about that?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Or am I mistaken? Or no, no, no.
So,
Next, no, the amp back there, I can't really see.
oh, you're talking about the cabinet back
Yeah, the
there?
cabinet. Yeah, yeah. Is
Oh,
that an
that
angle
that
or is
one's
that Marshall?
that one's the angle cab.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
I'm
just
trying to
the
see.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's just the vintage 30s.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And I all my other cabinets are in a different room,
Mm.
but I have a 76 Marshall cab loaded with greenbacks and blackbacks. And
Ooh.
then I got way too many cabinets. But
You could open up your own store, huh?
yeah, it's I don't want to get rid of them, you know. They each have their own
Yeah.
flavor.
Yeah, it
So,
ah man, see, I don't know how you do it because like me, I got this SWR,
uh,
classic, and they don't make them anymore. And I'm just like, what do I do
yeah,
with it?
those are
Should I
good
keep it?
amps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, it's a lot of power. It's a lot of because I again with kind of like with the one that you have, the what was the brand again? I already forgot the name. The
Swan, the
Yeah,
Swan.
yeah, the Spawn. Yeah, and that's how I felt about SWR. A lot of power, a lot of
Yeah.
bottom end, right? And I'm a fingers guy, so I'm like, okay, let's get rid of the mids. Let the guitar player have the mids. So
Yeah.
with controlling all that rumble, what am I doing? Especially especially putting some distortion on. Oh man, I completely get what you're saying with being a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I actually started playing this. I used it at our last show. You familiar with Victory amps?
Victoriams? No, no.
Victory. So
Victory, no.
this right here
Holy
is
shit.
an amplifier, believe it or not.
Oh,
And
what
it's
the heck?
it's made by the company Victory out of UK.
Oh
And
shit.
they make your traditional, tube heads, but this one specifically is the Victory Kraken V4 amplifier. And it's an actual tube preamp circuitry. And then they use a Class D power amp section in here.
Oh wow.
And this thing screams. I mean, it is more than enough power. I think it's 185 watt
Oh damn.
at 4 ohms. And then you could it's got all these connections to send your signal out
Okay.
with the IR cab simulation already.
Yeah.
You could send it straight to the front of the house.
Oh,
And
nice.
that's what I did at the last gig. And it was great because literally you just plop this down, run a speaker out to your 4x12,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
XLR to the front of the house, and you're good to go.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
that
That's
was it. I
awesome.
mean, this right here is under 10 pounds and it
No
fits in
way.
the back.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
it's got everything I need: wah,
Yeah.
chorus, delay, and a boost.
And the boost. Oh man.
Yeah.
So you don't have a distortion pedal. You're running completely from head.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
doing that head. Okay.
Yeah. All the gain is coming straight from the amp.
We're getting all that crunch from there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The same
Okay.
thing when I play through the heads,
Hmm.
all the gain is just the amp. I don't have an overdrive. I don't have a distortion, nothing. Everything's coming straight from that.
That's very old school, brother. That's very old school,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I love it. You really stick it to the old school now.
Yeah. I mean, these you could channel switch, for clean tones, but I prefer to roll the volume off to
Hmm.
get the clean tones.
Hmm.
It's just easier.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's an old school thing. I mean, I am old, so you know,
Nah, age is
I,
just a
I
number,
play
but
that way.
yeah, no, but I mean, but it's if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And
Yeah.
that's what's so cool, man, because these new cats, man, they're like, oh, I got this pedal, I got that pedal, I got I need to turn this off, and then it's like, whoa, man, like what happened to the old school way, dude? Like
Yeah. Well, I was like that too. I mean,
yeah,
at some point, I did have a bigger pedal board, and I just got tired doing the pedal board step dance,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then trying to remember, oh, I got to hit here, I got to go there. Oops, I missed. I
yeah,
just got tired of that. So that's why, literally, even when I play through heads, it's just a wah and a delay pedal,
nice,
and and a volume boost pedal for solos, and that's it. Just keep it
Mm.
simple.
Hey everybody, jumping in real quick just to let you know about today's sponsor, Metal and Iron. Are you a gym goer? Do you like listening to metal? Do you like lifting heavy? Well, Metal and Iron's got you covered with shirts and designs that are there to let people know that you're about the heavy lifestyle. None of this Gymshark shit, none of this Adidas, Nikes, nah, you're there to lift the heavy shit. So check it out. Use the code Beyond Heavy for 15% off and let them know Mayhem sent you.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I love it. I love it. But what are
Yeah.
we doing with guitars? I mean, I don't. I mean, I know it would be like another hour to kind of just sit down and go through every single one. But what are
Yeah.
your what are your top three? I gotta ask top three.
Well, so the main ones that I always gig with is, you know what?
You
I'll
can pick it
just
up. Oh yeah, I was gonna say yeah. You
there
walk
you
on over
go.
there. Yeah, yeah.
So this one here, the brown one, that's a
Mm.
Chapman.
Oh
That's
wow.
another UK based company.
Yeah.
And I use this one quite a lot.
Okay.
And then this one here, the Black Telly, that's a Charvel.
Oh
And this
shoot.
one I use a lot. It's got Fishman Fluence pickups in there. And
Mm.
they have a switch where you could go to vintage, where it sounds like an old school PAF style pickup. And
Okay.
then flip of a switch, you're back to like a modern, high gain, high output humbucker.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so I use that a lot. And then another guy I use quite a lot is a Schecter right here.
Oh nice.
This guy, because it's got a Sustainiac on there,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm able to, get some really cool sustains and effects with that.
Mm.
And so this one I use quite a lot because this tuning stability is amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
it will not go out of tune. I could abuse the whammy bar and it stays in tune for
Yeah.
shows. So
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, no Schecter. I used to have a Schecter bass too. Nah, you would literally have to detune it so it doesn't, you know, tune.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's a good one, man. I see that SG, man. Is that a vintage? I gotta
No,
ask.
it's this one I believe I want to say it's 2012.
Oh,
It's a
okay. Okay.
2012 SG special.
Okay.
And then you got your LP Junior, which
Nice,
is
man.
I think this one was from 2019, and then this one was a American Fender Texas Special Strat
Oh wow.
that I just totally bastardized,
Oh yeah, you
and
it's got some love. It's got some love.
just gave it a paint job. I like distressed looking guitars. That's just.
Ah.
And then this one is a no brand Telecaster
Oh, it's not a
with
Fender. Oh shoot.
no, it's got
Oh.
a hip shot, a B bender, so you could do all these country licks.
Yeah.
Then I got a Gretsch hollow body.
Oh, damn. The classics,
And
man. The classics.
yeah, I think that what is that? Gretsch Electromatic. That's what they
Mm.
call it. And then you got a gold top Les Paul. I think I acquired that in 2016. I think it's supposed to be like a reissue of 59.
Oh, okay.
And then you got this guy here. This
What? It's got a Floyd. Is that a Floyd Rose? If I'm not looking right?
no,
Yeah, it's
so
not a.
so everybody trips out on. I use this one a lot
Mm.
when I don't have to play leads. I like to play rhythm on this,
Okay. Okay.
and but for recordings, this is great because it's got a humongous sound. But
Mm.
it's a 59 copy, and it had a honey burst, and I bought it really cheap off a dude off of Craigslist,
Mm-hmm.
gosh, back in 2016.
Oh,
And
damn.
just recently, in the last year to 2 years, I painted it black and just gave it this weird, funky look.
Mm-hmm.
And I put this tremolo on here. It's by Duesenberg Guitars. And Duesenberg's a Germany company. They make really high-end guitars.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
they had this for sale, and I was reading up on it. A lot of guys putting this on to their Les Pauls,
Mm-hmm.
and surprisingly with this, and then I have this. I don't know what you call it, but it keeps the your strings in a straight line
Oh,
and
okay.
distributes it evenly. I forgot the name of it, but with that and this, I could do some dive bombs on this thing,
Uh-huh.
and I could even do whammy bar flutters. I mean, just do some, unorthodox shit on a Les Paul,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
stays in tune. It will not go out of
Whoa,
tune. Even
man.
the, because Les Paul G strings are notorious for going out of
Oh,
tune.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like they don't those don't stay in tune, but if that one
yeah.
does,
This
it's a
stays
rare
in
one.
tune, which is amazing.
Uh,
So yeah, but that's in a nutshell. That's my guitars, and then of course I got my George Lynch, Mr. Scary.
I was just gonna say that. I was like, I'm like, when you said George, I'm like, you are really a fan, my friend.
Yeah, I just when he came out with it, I just had to buy it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Classics, man. Classics, dude. You got some good ones, man. But that's crazy to hear to have a dive bomb on a Les Paul, right?
yeah.
If you're like dive bomb on a Les Paul, like what? Like that doesn't really fit. Like, it's like my brain still can't comprehend it, right? Because Les Paul is just it's a classic guitar, right? It's just like you're thinking all the classic licks and solos and stuff, and then you see that, you're like, what is that?
Yeah, I put that on there because I like the way that guitar feels, and especially the way it sounds. And
Hmm.
then now I like the way it looks. It looks cool.
It does look cool. It
But
does look cool.
I wanted to be able to. I also play in a tribute band called Alice Insane, which is Alice in Chains tribute band.
Oh, no
And
way.
yeah,
Oh,
so I
nice, nice.
play in that band, and I use that mainly for that band.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of stuff that I do, that requires a tremolo. And prior to that, I was using a Strat, and I'm like, I want to use the Les Paul. So that's why I took a chance on that to see if it was going to work, and surprisingly, it works really well.
That's
So
awesome, man. That's
yeah,
awesome. It's just that's a rare thing to see. That's a gem
yeah,
right there. That's definitely a gem,
yeah. Everybody trips out,
Yeah.
when I pull that out during sound check. They're like, "What is that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All the
What the
gearheads,
hell
right? All
is
the
that?"
gearheads come out.
Yeah, yeah, funny.
Yeah, I'm a gearhead too, man. I like looking at the stuff, whatever the rare commodities. Like I didn't even know about that amp on your
Yeah.
pedal board, and I'm like, oh my
Oh,
god,
the
dude.
Victory, yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
victory, and
check
I'm like,
check out the Victory amps, man. I mean, those are great amplifiers.
yeah. And can you record with that too? Can you go ahead and
Yeah.
just
Oh,
like
yeah.
and
Yeah.
just plug it right in? Okay,
You could
yeah.
go direct into your audio interface
Mm,
with cabinet IR, or you
mm.
could go without it and then do your cabinet IR in your recording software,
Oh,
however
damn,
you want to do it.
damn, the
So
victory.
yeah,
I got
it's a really versatile amp. It's great.
yeah. That look, and you said like, dude, you're like less than 10 pounds. I'm like,
Yeah.
as a bass player, that's a dream right there.
Yeah. I don't think they have bass amps, or do they? I'm not sure.
It's all good. It's all good because they have the glass, or I'm sorry, the dark glass stuff
The
for bass
dark
players.
glass. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what our bass player has too.
Oh,
Greg.
nice.
He's got so many amps, but he's got one of the, I don't know which one, but he's got a dark glass. And I remember seeing it on YouTube, and then when he brought it in, I was like, yeah, those things sound amazing.
Oh yeah. No, they've pretty much perfected the bass sound, man. Like
Yeah.
they were, yeah, they're like the Leonardo da Vinci's of stuff, man. They already we're already there, dude.
Yeah.
Bass players got to it, and it sounds great,
Yep.
like and I seen like the little heads that they have, the little like the tiny little amp heads that they have. And I'm like, there's
Oh
no
yeah, they kind
way.
of look like the Mac Minis almost.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, again, me being old school, I'm like, no, I need the huge, you know, 750 or whatever big monstrosity thing. And then some of my buddies are like, dude, they sound great, and then they weigh like 2 pounds, man. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna save your back. Like, dude, just
Well, I
put
think
your ego
those
away.
use if I'm correct, I think they use a Class D amplification that's built into it, and that's why
Hmm.
they're able to make it small
Yeah.
and have it weigh less.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's easier on the back.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons why I got that Victory amp. It's because I kind of tweaked my knee, and
Mm.
it's been hard. It's still difficult, lifting a 4x12, but I can always get help with that. but like lugging, the head and a few other stuff, I was like, if I could condense it down and then set up and tear down in between sets is super quick now.
Oh,
I'm
heck
in
yeah.
and off the stage like in a matter of like a minute.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Poor
Yeah,
drummers, man. Poor drummers. They'll
I
have
know,
their
right?
day. They'll have their day where they can condense everything, whatever.
They do. It's called drum machines.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Just press play. Yeah. Always on
Yep.
time, doesn't mess up, doesn't drop a
Yeah.
stick. You
They
know.
don't talk back.
They don't talk back. See, that's the thing. Drummers talk back, and it's like, you're right, because they never get to say anything. So when you ask them something, guess what?
I
They won't stop
know.
talking. Yeah, I've interviewed a couple drummers, and whew. Yeah, yeah. So Dave, I appreciate the time, brother. Man, I think we talked about a lot. We went gear, we went band, I really appreciate your time, man, having you on. I want to have a round two, when you guys have the new stuff coming out, man. So
Yeah.
where can people find you, Dave? Talk to me. Here, this is
Um,
the plug section.
Social media, it's always going to be like facebook.com/7train band, I think.
Mhm.
Instagram.com/7train band. Or you could just go to 7train.net and then you'll find all the social links there, the YouTube, Facebook, the correct Facebook. I'm sure I rambled off the wrong one maybe. But yeah, just 7train.net. You'll find everything there.
And make sure, and I want to add to spell it out, right? Because I made the mistake.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
made the mistake because he was like, check out 7Train.
Not
And
the
then
number
not the
7, but
number.
spell it out. Yeah.
Exactly. Because I was like, I can't find them. And then I was like, let me spell it out. I was like, oh, there they are. There they are.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
that that, that brings me to maybe I need to see if that domain is available. Number 7
Number 7.
train.com.
There you go. That's a
Good
free one.
idea. Yeah, thank you.
That's a free one for you, Dave.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
brother. I mean, good talking to you, man.